What if the most important thing you were told about tennis elbow wasn't true? You know this supposed fact that inflammation is the cause of tennis elbow and other kinds of tendinitis, or supposedly the big problem with it. What if that was a big medical myth, in spite of all the trusted sources you've heard it from? That might sound extreme, but just give me a chance and I'll quickly show you why inflammation can't be the enemy you've been led to believe it is at all, and why knowing this is critical to healing your tennis elbow as fast as possible. Not to mention, no more chasing inflammation with painful shots, toxic pills, worthless creams, or freezing yourself with ice over and over. After all, helping your tendons heal and recover from tendinitis is what really matters to you, right? Not just feeling less pain temporarily, but feeling that strength and confidence in your tendons and muscles again, isn't it? Well, you're about to discover a simple scientific fact of biology that will explain why trying to treat and defeat inflammation is a waste of time and has nothing to do with healing. This is Alan Willett from Tendon Academy, and this is the first in a series of videos all about breaking the vicious tendinitis cycle, beginning with exposing the inflammascam, the most misleading tendinitis myth of them all. Now, what are the most important, challenging questions that you're faced with as a tennis elbow tendinitis sufferer? I bet we can safely agree the big ones are, what causes tendinitis? Or how did this happen? Why isn't it healing? As in, it's still weak and painful. Why the heck is this taking so long? And how do I help it heal faster and stronger? What do I do? Now you know the official answer well enough by now. What do all the authorities say? You've got doctors, medical websites, physical therapists, athletic trainers, coaches, not to mention your non-professional friends, teammates, and coworkers. They all tell you the same thing, don't they? The official tendinitis story is that there's a fiery enemy attacking your tendons. Its name is inflammation. And what you're told to do is counterattack this dreaded monster. The answer they claim is to treat it and defeat it, right? You've got your doctors and medical sites telling you, you have to keep fighting that inflammation, take handfuls of toxic pills, follow the RICE protocol. You're supposed to rest it and ice it and all of that. And then in just a few short weeks, you're expected to submit to dangerous, potentially damaging cortisone shots if the inflamma monster doesn't seem to be shrinking and losing the battle quickly enough. And let's not forget the gimmick sellers claiming their creams, their pills, or their miracle devices will miraculously cure your inflammation and your tendinitis with it. But here's the catch, here's the con. In spite of everything the authorities say, inflammation can't be the answer. It can't even be the cause, really even part of the problem, simply because inflammation is part of the healing process. The simple truth is that it's a completely natural, normal part of the healing and repair process, and healing can't happen without it. Now, I'm not saying that inflammation is always helpful. We're really only talking about the healing of torn or otherwise damaged muscles and tendons at the moment, where a certain amount of inflammation is absolutely necessary as the first step in repairing that damage. And let's be clear, this is not my opinion. This is a simple biological fact. You should be able to find it in any good medical or sports medicine textbook. One of the problems, though, is this simple medical fact is almost never referred to or properly explained anywhere else. The way inflammation is almost always presented, the way it's distorted or referred to out of context, makes it sound like inflammation is either the cause of tendinitis or the reason why the problem lasts so long, why it's so slow to heal. But that's backwards, as you can see. It doesn't make any sense. Once you know that it's part of the healing process, how could inflammation possibly be the answer to these questions? How could the healing process itself be the reason why something isn't healing? Most importantly, how could the answer to helping your injury heal faster be to attack one of the ways your body is trying to heal it? That's why I insist on calling it a con or a scam. It just seems like more than a simple mistake. Mistake or not, though, it's certainly misleading people into believing they're treating their problem and helping it heal instead of what they're really doing, which is suppressing their own healing response and possibly even prolonging their own recovery, even if all they're doing is icing and not taking any drugs. So if you're still in pain, you're still struggling, and you're still wondering why, after following the official advice, it's certainly not your fault once you consider this simple fact. But why then are we told to fight inflammation in the first place? Well, partly it's because the original theory which must be at least 50 years old, was that stubborn ongoing tendon pain simply had to be caused by out of control inflammation. Of course, when inflammation really is raging out of control, it causes a lot of swelling, which becomes very obvious quite quickly because you can clearly see it, like what happens right after someone sprains their ankle. That's a different kind of injury, of course, where a little ice does make sense for a day or so. The thing is, most tendinitis sufferers never see any swelling. I can only remember 1 or 2 cases where the person had any in all the years I've been treating people with tendon problems. But the biggest reasons inflammation is still being attacked and demonized because it's such a big, easy target. An obvious villain is easier to fight than a hidden one, even if it's the wrong villain. And of course, because we have so many magic bullet, anti-inflammatory creams and pills and shots, we can easily shoot at the monster in the hopes of this quick fix kill. In the end, though, does it really matter why? The truth is, inflammation is still not a monster. He's still not to blame and simply has a job to do. Maybe it's not just a good idea to shoot him or run him out of town. After all, how can we help our healing process by fighting part of it? Doesn't common sense suggest that would be counterproductive? Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, if you're trying to treat and defeat inflammation the way you're told you're supposed to, you may be prolonging or even worsening your problem. Let's end on a positive note, though, as in what a relief it will be to stop fearing and chasing inflammation, to be able to quit wasting time and effort, and to say goodbye to all the ice, the toxic pills, the painful shots, and the messy creams. What a relief to finally understand that inflammation is simply a natural part of the healing process and not some terrible enemy you have to defeat. Well, I hope this has helped and encouraged you. And there's more where this came from. I have a lot more to share with you, including more videos, a free ebook or 2, and helpful articles at tendonacademy.com. Next, you'll want to watch Inflammascan Part 2, of course, where I really get it rolling and explain the 2 causes of tendon pain that most tendon injury sufferers actually have. The real causes of tennis elbow that have nothing to do with inflammation. Unfortunately, one of them is something a lot worse, and we need to talk about it so you can understand it right away. It's the most likely reason why recovering from tendon problems is often much, much harder than it seems like it should be, and why you need more than oversimplified answers, symptom-chasing remedies, and hollow miracle cure promises in order to overcome it. Yes, there's more to tennis elbow tendinitis than they tell you, but if you'll let me be your guide, I promise to help make it a lot simpler and to give you better, more sensible answers to recovering from your tennis elbow. Not by fighting it, but by understanding and helping your own healing process. This is Alan Millett from Tendon Academy.